Alright, here we are in our first replay of the night, and this is going to be starring in the blue vanguard here, ROFL, and his opponent in the red celestial. I believe this is Haya, if I remember correctly. This is a an alt account for Haya, and I believe this was played on the ladder. And if I remember correctly, ROFL is also an alt account of, I can't remember who the main account is, but he occupies the top 2 or 3 Vanguard positions on the ladder. Of course, this is Patchmas Eve, so this is the night before the patch, and tomorrow the ladder will be reset, and none of this will ever matter again. But for tonight, this is still the game. And let's see, ROFL has opened with a command post. His dog has scouted out here, and Haya has gone for, you know, the standard power bank in the trees. Everyone does that these days. And third array here, hasn't taken this array yet. And the scout's still doing what the scout's for, which is scouting. Of course, the power bank here, the real reason why this was done is it keeps it safe from that scout. The scout does have bonus damage versus light, and the power banks are light buildings. So that means you can do a little bit extra damage to it and be kind of annoying. If you can hide your power bank there, then it's harder for the dog to get it. Now this scout is, well, almost saw this power bank, but didn't see it. Looking for arrays instead, and saw the morph core and is trying to block the array. And it looks like will be somewhat successful, as Haya does have the resources right now to put down the array. Looks like he's queued up an extra morph core or something instead. And the dog using that hold position, following the command to delay that as much as possible, and then eating the cabbage and back up to full. And looks like we'll scout out this array here. So Haya's plan here is go array crazy, and that is of course one of the strategies you can do as a Celestial player, and that is one of the things that's going to change up in the with the new patch. Is, well, of course we're still going to see a lot of arrays, but it's going to change the dynamics, and it's going to be really interesting to see what that's going to mean. So, checking out, for instance, a Rails tournament, I think that's next weekend, or this coming weekend. That would be a very interesting tournament to see some of the new dynamics in the economy. And like I said, Haya is full on he's just built arrays. I don't even know, is there a creation chamber even on the map? You know, he knows he has to build units at some point, right? Here comes some scouts to finally find this. Now, at the same time, ROFL has not been producing a lot of units himself. He's got, looks like, first hedgehog on the way. Oh, there's a hedgehog already out. And these scouts are trying to pick off this power bank while this array is being harassed as well. And what do we see here? Okay, so this is, like, what is Haya? He's just trying to take every single mine on the map right under the nose of ROFL, and this power bank is going to go down. Took a while though, and it looks like this is still being harassed by the hedgehog. There are strike nodes, and now there's going to be a Sovereign's Watch, and the scouts are going to get out of there. Here we have a creation chamber. There might be units coming out here. It's a lot of static D out on the map, and just, you know, dropping down power banks as you go. And morph core, morph core, morph core. So it's just massive morph cores so far. And you'd think that ROFL would want to try and punish this more. He might not know the extent of how many bases are actually on the map now. He's trying to do his best by harassing these bases, but he doesn't really have a lot of DPS. So it takes him a long time to take out one of these arrays. Did he get this one? I think the Sovereign's Watch and the strike notes chased him away. And he is picking off power banks over here while these strike nodes are up, so that's going to get a scout maybe. I know the scout gets away, and here we have a vulnerable array. And the question is, can ROFL kill the arrays as fast as Haya's been building them? Because he's got this one and this one. Well, this one's not up yet, but it looks like he's on the way. He's almost rotated around the entire map. But at the same time, I don't think he's built any units, so I'm not sure if this strategy is really going to win him, as ROFL is building up this army, and yeah, now the DPS is picking up, and he's going to be able to, yeah, pick off these power banks pretty quickly. And then try and grab this array. Now, Haya has to transition out of just building buildings here. There has to be units at some point, I assume. Or maybe he's going for an achievement or something. And the hedgehogs, yeah, they're starting to just destroy the wake of these bases. This Morph Core's decided this is not the best. Another Morph Core is retreating. So Haya's strategy seems to have petered out here. There's still this one mine in the back that he could take with his Morph Core if he wanted. Looks like he's just waiting for these hedgehogs to leave. Alright, so we do have defenses at a lot of these earlier bases. Not necessarily up here. Although I don't know if even with the static D that's going to be enough to deal with. Well, that's not quite a big enough army yet, I think, to just run into possibly Sovereign's Watch. Although it looks like we do... Oh, okay, we've got a repair turret here. And this array is about to go down. And are these even transforming? No, they are still just going to be link nodes. So this base kind of goes down as well. So I'm not really sure how Haya's going to get back in. I mean, he's had a lot of income, but he really needs to try and build some kind of army. Well, okay, now we've got a Star Forge, but he's had these creation chambers, but I don't see any units that have come out of them. And is he just committed to these arrays? So just, I love this. So is this his original arc ship? I think it might be. You know, I was joking earlier, like, can ROFL take out these arrays faster than Haya can build them? Like, is this a challenge? How can you get to the 10-minute mark without building units? Now this replay was posted in the on the Discord as an interesting replay, so maybe it was because they were playing this interesting style. Now here, seems like a fairly well defended base, even though there's no units here. There goes the Sovereign's Watch. A lot of these units are being taken out. Looks like only 2 strike nodes got taken out there, while maybe 3 or 4 units went down. Another repair turret maybe going down here. And oh, there's another strike force out here that has been picking off bases as well. And this was the original base, and it's gone now, so I missed out on that one. So Haya's base has kind of relocated to the top right now. There's just a prism here, and it's gonna unfortunately get the anti-aircraft once these siege up. Maybe they won't. There we go. Siege up. Yeah. Bye-bye. And okay, again, have we... I still haven't seen a unit out of Haya. This is definitely an interesting game. But it doesn't look like, you know, how are you going to win the game if you don't build units? So my current prediction is that ROFL's going to be the winner. He finds this power bank and he goes in and takes it out. Meanwhile, the Bob's going to get the rest of the way in here. Well, this is, of course, one way to get through this static D, is just to come in the back and take out the units, or take out the buildings this way. And, of course, they have to go in one at a time. Oh, they're getting kind of jammed in there. I haven't seen that poor of pathing in a while. That kind of reminds me of good old Brood War pathing. Sovereign's Watch, but now there's just this is both of those forces merged together, so there's enough DPS here to just really take these units out, or these buildings out, before they can do serious damage. Oh, there's some Vulcans on the way now too. It's hard to see how this is going to be anything except a win for ROFL. Look at this, Sabers. It must have been the 10-minute mark. We had to wait for 10th minute mark to get some units out here. I don't think, how many Sabers do you need to fight this? So they use their mass accelerators, Zot up to the top, and actually they're doing alright. You want to have a different kind of angle on these units so you can be hitting more than one unit at a time. And now it's ROFL who's saying, fine, I'm going to build bases in your backyard instead. Meanwhile, still other Hedgehog strike forces out here taking out bases. There's a dog over here as well. This creation chamber hasn't been spotted. This base is a little bit too well defended, so they retreat from that. Where are these Bobs going? Hey, they haven't taken out this one yet. Okay, so this looks looking like a pretty good force. And where did the Sabers go? They're sitting on the high ground here. Alright, are we going to get our push here? We have a sentry post here, but it doesn't have a Bob in it. Usually you would expect to see a Bob put in there for a repair turret. This is where the Sabers are, so I don't know if this is the best place to attack into. Of course, it could be much easier to just clear this base out. Still, there are morph cores being sent out across the map. Alright, now the Saber's able to shoot from the high ground. So, okay, so they do retreat out, which, yeah, I think you don't attack into that necessarily until that's the last bastion. Well, okay, going for the vision camp. The creation chamber, very curious. Is that a troll creation chamber? Because now the army is going to move into this lower base, and it's going to get cleared. There's, even with all this DPS, it's okay, and we're going to go the siege route. You don't even really need to, you can just move into this and you'll be fine. And okay, so finally we do see Haya building some units, and he's got Cabals and Sabers out here. It's one scythe. And okay, sieged up to take out the... Now, oh, they didn't unsiege. Oh no. ROFL left half his army behind, all of his hedgehogs. But he does get some really nice body blocks, and boom, that's some free Sabers. And also one free Cabal, unfortunately. Oh, is it going to get away? Okay, he got it. It looks like he went and unsieged the rest of those hedgehogs and was able to bring them into the army now too. He should be able to punch down these trees a lot easier now with his Vulcans. But is he going to creep out the Luminite first? After that, it's going to be pretty much a steamroll, I think, as he marches into the base. It was an interesting opening, but the transition to units was way too late for Haya. Okay, oh, here it comes. But at the same time, we are getting a push out. And one free helicarrier. Now there's some Kree. You know, you could have built Kree 10 minutes ago. Might have been useful. And here we go. The buildings are just going to get mowed now. Oh, and look at this. We got some sieging up on the high ground. Wow. Nice shots from the Sabres to really clean up a couple of those tanks immediately. And, wow. Really nice low ground firing. Take them out. The scythe there is giving the high ground vision. And there are still a few tanks in the back. And a lot of those Sabres are low, but remember, they do have... they're healing, so they're all healing up now, right now, pretty quickly using their ability. That can only be used out of combat, so they have to sort of heal up and then re-engage. Wow, Sovereign's Watch getting one of the Vulcans. We get a gravity flux on the helicarrier. So this is actually a pretty close engage. I thought this was going to be a wipe, but the Sabres now come fully healed up, and they're going to focus down these Vulcans. The Vulcans trying to move forward, all get taken out. There are a few sieged up hedgehogs, but they're just fodder for these Kree. Sabres clean them up, and wow. So, yeah, this was not the steamroll that I thought it was going to be. Some pretty nice control and micro from Hayat to get his Sabres to focus fire down those tanks. As well as some clutch gravity fluxes on the helicarriers, and I actually didn't see if they got any on the Vulcans, but definitely on a few helicarriers. And now, are the tides going to be turning here? This could be a real interesting change of pace. Okay, here comes the army to try and fight this off. And again, there was some really good engages earlier, but it was partly luckily due to positioning. And now we get some bombing runs, and the Sabres have to retreat. They turn to fight, but no, they're going to be right underneath the helicarriers. There are some Hornets there too. That means it's going to be easy to chase down some of these low Sabres. And, well, they stop to take out some Kree. The Sabres make it home, and that means they might be able to heal themselves up. But we now have 4 helicarriers. This is starting to look like a kind of serious late-game army. We have those Atlases in the back. Okay. Okay, so I was worried, you know, I noticed here that he hasn't healed up these units. I think it's cooldown base, if I remember correctly, not energy base, so they should have it on cooldown. Now that's some serious bombing runs. Wow, and there were so many weak save. Oh my goodness, every single one of them taken out, as well as a few power banks. And now it's Scythes versus helicarriers. Of course, bombing runs aren't going to do anything against the Scythes. And they are getting some serious damage. I actually haven't noticed the sort of new DPS that you get. They are meant to be anti-air, and they've been doing a pretty good job of clearing up those helicarriers. The Hornets come in to try and chase them off, but actually they're fairly resilient against the Hornets as well. We see some sky mines there. So now, yeah, now what do we see is going to happen? Are they going to try and switch to a scythe-based composition here? They get on top of that air, but now there are hedgehogs sieged up underneath, and they do pretty good anti-air. The Scythes have to focus fire them down, and remember their sort of niche now is against other air, so air to air. Air to ground is not as strong as it used to be, and yeah, they're not being able to sort of go toe to toe with the hedgehogs. So we got this interesting sort of scrappy late game, if you will, to this game after a very bizarre early game where there was almost no no resistance from our Celestial player. Scrapyard out here at the rich Ethereum in the middle of the map. And again, look at how they've kind of split up Lost Hope in a very weird way. Here we have a sentry post going down. So there is a very like multi-pronged game here that I haven't necessarily seen all of the different engages, as units have been sent all over the map to expand and harass expands. Like this base is right in the backyard. Both of them kind of have, you know, bases camped out right next to their other bases. And now what? They're gonna go out and try and clear some economy? Because it's, well, okay, so by taking this Therium camp, that was a signal that they're on the move. Although, Haya is... What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna try and defend over here from the sentry posts. Using buildings to attack, of course. And here we go. We get an engage with the size on top of the hedgehogs. And the size, ooh, no, getting into some sky mines there. Getting some pretty good detonations on them, as well as some nice anti-air from the sieged up hedgehogs. The size have to retreat, but now they find these helicarriers, and that's exactly what they want. They want to jump right on top of these helicarriers. The helicarriers, of course, use their return to hangar to speedily return home. That allows them to outpace the size. But what it also means is that the helicarriers cannot be controlled until they return home and until they get fully healed up. See, this one was already fully healed, so it gets to be re-engage and re-enter the map. There's another one. That one, of course, the slowest. This is one reason, in case you're wondering, you can put a repair turret here, which will speed up the repair from your hangar. Sort of a nice bonus. And the Size are back out on the map, and they found Hornet and a helicarrier. Take them out. There are some hedgehogs here, but they're choosing to deal with the the Kree instead. If they siege up, they become incredibly vulnerable to the Kree. They're already quite vulnerable to the Kree. And it looks like this scrapyard might get taken out. Actually, no, more hedgehogs show up. There are also Hornets in the air, and there's a huge dogfight going on in the air. But it looks like the Sides do get chased off. Kree rolling away. And yeah, what an interesting scrappy game. Again, what happened down here? This base got taken out. Now it's a base for ROFL. This base has been harassed, but it doesn't look like it's been taken out yet. And it does look like this is the next target for ROFL. Meanwhile, okay, Hedgehog's down here, going for some Star Forges. And, oh, it does look like Haya's not sure where he wants to go. So he sends some of his Kree over here to sort of save this base, and does get a nice kind of surround on a lot of those Hedgies. And now this is a much more powerful army for ROFL, and the Kree have to run away. And that might be a new scrapyard. We saw the old one getting harassed. And it looks like these Kree and Size are in full retreat. Managing to sort of protect one of their bases, but not the other. Oh, actually, these hedgehogs are here, about to take out this array as well. The Size are back in the middle of the map, and here we are again with some hedgehogs. There's some Vulcans. The Krees are trying to get on top of the Vulcans, but the Size are focusing down the air. The air is almost all eliminated once it's gone, but the sieged up hedgehogs are doing so much damage to the Size. Wow, and they just floating away to their death. That is a GG from Haya.